Good morning, Sagittarius, and welcome to this, your 12 days of Yule gift. This is your 2023 predictions video, and it is being recorded on December the 29th. First thing in the morning, still cold, wearing my big sweatshirt, getting ready to go for the day. Okay, so today I'm going to be recording 3 readings for you. Yeah, that's right, 3 readings. The first one is going to be a general overall look at 2023 for you, my Sagittarius friends. The second reading is going to be a love and relationships. And the third one's going to be money, job, career, work, that type of thing. I will put timestamps in the description for you. Couple of different notes. First of all, this is a general reading. It's a general reading for all of the Sagittarius out there, and there's quite a few of you. So some of what I say is going to resonate with some of you, and some of it is not. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. It's intended for a different Sagittarian. Also, if you are interested in having an exclusive, personalized 2023 reading, I am right now offering my annual special. I will put a link down in the description. It's a 13-card reading. It takes between an hour and an hour and a half. It is a live reading. No, it is not pre-recorded and sent out to you. It is live with me one-on-one. Anyway, I will put the link in the description. It's only run for a limited time and only at this time of the year. So if you are interested in a personalized reading, click down there. Also, here's my big disclaimer, and I may make the disclaimer again, depending on what cards come up for you, Sagittarius. I am not a medical doctor. I am not a lawyer. Anything in this reading that may be construed as either medical advice or legal advice, please allow me to remind you that you have free will. Decisions are yours to make. Please, if you have an important decision to make in your life, connect with the people that are legally qualified to be giving you legal, medical advice, etc., etc. Okay? All right, without any further ado, let's get started. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the way that I do work with quite a number of oracle decks, tarot decks, and so on. I have selected 4 decks. I do pull from a variety of different decks during the spread, as I'm laying out the cards for you. And the reason that I do this is because although all of the cards have similar meanings, like there's a moon card in each one of my decks, for example, the moon card resonates differently with different people based on the picture that's on the card. And so that's why I kind of jump around and move around. I mean, I could pull a card from each one of the 4 decks and they would all have similar meanings, but the cards would speak more loudly to certain people based on the pictures that are on them. So that's why I kind of change things up. I also find it fascinating that sometimes I'm working with in the neighborhood of about 200 cards at a time, and sometimes the same card will come out twice, which is just fascinating to me when that happens. So let's get started. So Sagittarius, for your general reading, let's start with where you are now. Right now, 2022, where are the Sagittarians in the group? And which deck are we going to pull the cards from? We're going over here. Okay, yeah, we're going to move this one over here because I saw you sitting here. We're going to do that. Okay, you now. Where are you now, Sagittarius? Now, what I do is I leave all of the cards face down, and then I turn them over one by one as I'm actually doing your reading, because that way there's less of a desire on my part to jump around during your reading, instead of actually reading the cards in the order in which they're intended to be read as I pull them out for you. All right, what is your focus for 2023? General reading. General overall focus for the Sagittarius out there. Okay, what's the focus? That might be the card. Yeah, we got one card that wants to stick out the top of the deck there. Do we need a clarifying card on this one? No. Let's move into your difficult influences. Now, I'm going to talk to you for just 1 second about difficult influences before we move on. The difficult influences cards, it's kind of like we read them as if they're in reverse, regardless of the way that they're facing when I actually pull them out for the spread. The reason being is there are difficult influences. So if you've got a card there saying happy, 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 what it's actually meaning is that perhaps you're not putting enough happiness into what you're doing. So it's kind of read as if it's the opposite, or you're going to struggle with a little bit of trying to manifest happiness into your life. So that's where the difficult influence card comes in. Let's have a look at Sagittarius difficult influences. General reading 2023. And I am trying to hold these up high enough so you can see what I'm doing. Unfortunately, I do not have those fancy setups and extra cameras and all that stuff. Let's move into, I pull a card during this spread called This Makes Sense. So let's see what makes sense. Let's go back over here. What makes sense for the Sagittarius in 2023? Okay. We actually have 2 cards coming up right there. Let's look at unexpected insights. Unexpected insights. Oh, we've got 2 cards that have actually just jumped right out. General overall outcome. Okay, let's get started. Sagittarius, where are you now? You are discovering truth. You stand in the light of truth. Okay. What this card is telling me is that for a lot of you, you are starting to see things behind the veil. You're starting to see that things are not always as they seem. You're no longer taking things in your life at face value. You are perhaps starting to listen more deeply when someone's speaking to the tone or the intonation of their voice. You're paying more attention to their body language, understanding that, if somebody has a closed off body, they're saying, oh yeah, I really like you. Okay, does that person really like you? If, the way that I just expressed that, first of all, the tone of my voice wasn't particularly positive or uplifting, and I've got my arms crossed and I pulled my body away from you, that obviously means that my body is speaking more loudly than the words that are coming out. So you've heard the saying lip service. So Sagittarius, this is telling me that you're paying more attention to the subtleties with regards to communication, which is allowing you the ability to see the truth, to discover the truth. And I'm not just talking like on the global scale, because we all know that there are some truths coming out. There's a veil that is dropping right now. I'm not just talking about that kind of stuff. I'm also talking about with your friends, with your family, with your boss, with the different people that you are interacting with. You are all of a sudden realizing that really you're more intuitive than you think you are, or what we have always said was intuition, but in actual fact, it was just us needing to pay attention to the different subtleties in communication in order to suss out the truth. Okay, so that's where you are at now, which is actually a really, really good place to be, honestly. Your focus for 2023, Sagittarius, is the heart guardian. Love and let yourself be loved. Okay. This card indicates to me that for a lot of you, you have kind of closed yourself off recently. I want to say what's coming up is within the last 18 months or so, there has been this kind of, and that's understandable, because if this is where you're at now and you're beginning to see the truth, you're beginning to be able to see through the veil, you're beginning to see through the lip service that some people may have been offering you for many years that you thought were genuine, and all of a sudden you're going, oh, they're not. Sorry, I do still have a little bit of a cold and scratchy voice, so I apologize for that. But anyway, if you're starting to see this, and the veil's been breaking down for some time, and I do want to say probably about 18 months for a lot of you, that you're really discovering the truth, both about yourself, but also about the people around you, then you've probably closed your heart off. Because what happens when we begin to see that things are not as they really seem, we close ourselves off to other people because we actually stop trusting everything for a period of time as we adjust to our new ability or capacity to be able to see things from a different perspective. So in 2023, your focus, Sagittarians, is to open your heart again and allow love back into your life, okay? Walking around on this planet with a very closed off heart is excruciatingly painful, because as humans, we are intended to love and we are intended to be loved. Does that mean that you will never get hurt again? Absolutely not, because that's part of the human experience. The love, the being loved, the being hurt, the allowing it to happen again, and that the saying that comes up is hope springs eternal, and that is part of the human experience, is that hope, that eternal hope that there is love there. So Sagittarius, your focus for this year is to allow your heart to open again. And you'll notice as well that this card is called the Heart Guardian. This is telling me that in some ways, when you go to open your heart again, there are some spirits, some unseen energies out there that are guarding your heart, in addition to you guarding your heart. Let's look at your difficult influences in 2023. Okay. Difficult influences in 2023 is the moon. I mean, what are the chances? When I was introducing this and how I work with the cards, I said every single one of these decks has a moon card, and then you go and get a moon card. What are the chances? Moon. What does the moon mean? There are several different meanings, but the moon in the traditional tarot deck, if you were to, let me just pull out my handy book here, my tarot Bible. If you look up the moon card in any of the tarot books, what it's actually going to tell you is that someone is not always being honest with you, that there is some deception going on, right? The moon becomes light, the moon becomes dark, the moon becomes light, the moon becomes dark. And the belief is that as the moon becomes dark, perhaps people are not being as honest as they should be with us. Okay, but then the moon turns light again as she goes full, and she shines her light down, thus revealing the truth. That's what brings up the cycles of the moon. Okay, so this card for you, Sagittarius, being in the difficult influences for 2023, is telling me two things. One, again, you need to continue to build and develop your skill to be able to, okay, I'm being told to say something that I'm not supposed to say on YouTube. We have a particular meter that we need to develop, a BS meter. Continue to develop your BS meter, Sagittarians. so that these cycles of going into the truth and coming out of the truth are not detrimentally affecting you. Get to the point that your BS meter is such that you have the capacity to see the truth at all times. Okay. What this is telling me is you will struggle with that a little bit going through 2023. There are going to still be times when you're going to look at someone and go, yeah, I believe what they're saying. Oh, crap. They weren't telling the truth. Okay. So, just be on the lookout for that. The other thing with the moon card being in your difficult positions is pay attention to cycles. Okay. We all know that we go through various cycles, both in a month, we go through different cycles. In the year, we go through different cycles. Each year is a different cycle. So pay attention to those and try and bring your body into alignment. When this card comes up, I usually recommend that people spend 2 or 3 months not looking up at the moon if they're not already familiar with doing this type of work. If you're not familiar with doing this type of work, spend 2 or 3 months charting your mood and your motivations and how you feel. Okay, so get up in the morning and say, hey, I feel really motivated. I'm raring to go. I've got a good job. Let's get out of bed. And then other days you may chart on your little notebook, oh God, I really don't want to get out of bed. I'm feeling so unmotivated. I feel a little bit depressed. Chart that for a month or two. Actually, you need to chart it for a minimum 2 months, preferably 3 months, and then go backwards. I mean, we all carry phones around with us. Go backwards, search on your phone, search on your computer, and look up what the phases of the moon were based on your moods and based on your motivations. And for the vast majority on the planet, you will find that during the full moon, you are either really motivated or really unmotivated. Okay, it depends on you and your own circadian rhythm and so on. Not everyone is motivated during the full moon. Many people are, some aren't. So chart that. And then for the remainder of the year, pay really close attention to the moon and where her cycles are. And you can actually begin to plan your days out. So if you know that you're going to be really, really motivated right around the full moon, then plan to get a big job completed right around the full moon. If you know that you're kind of sad and depressed and unmotivated and want to sit on the couch with a big bag of popcorn right around the new moon, then plan for that. And when you are living your life in cycles and in alignment with your circadian rhythms, you'd be amazed what you can accomplish. And the other thing that happens when you do that is a whole lot more of this comes out. The BS meter goes off the charts with regards to its accuracy. Okay, Sagittarius, what makes sense? Ooh, look at these two cards. You got the Sun and the Summer card. Both of these cards are considered happy, happy cards. Just as I mentioned that all tarot decks and almost all of my oracle card decks have a moon card, they almost all have a sun card as well. The sun card in the traditional tarot is considered the happiest card in the deck. It is like good news, omen all the way around. So what this is telling me, Sagittarius, is that 2023 is going to be a positive year for you. Enjoy success and happiness. Okay. This one is bask in the joy and light. And this is the summer card. Now, the bee represents, on almost all of my tarot and oracle cards, represents happiness, but it also represents love. It represents, and in fact, in my animal tarot deck, and I have two different animal tarot decks, the bees actually represent the lovers. Okay, so this to me is telling me, Sagittarius, that you really need to follow this advice that's in your focus area this year. You need to open back up to the possibility and the opportunity of love in your life, because this is calling it in again. Again, with both of these representing summer, right? We have this one actually coming right out and saying summer, and the sun also representing summer, summer solstice, all of those things. This is telling me that by June, July, August, those 3 months of the year, you are probably going to be just kind of in your glory, just living the good life, living the high life, and really basking in the sun and enjoying things. Okay, let's move into unexpected insights. And again, I have 2 cards. Oh my goodness. 2 cards for you, Sagittarius. We have the apple tree, which is an indication that there is significant abundance coming into your life in 2023. And this is the diamond card or the radiance card. And this card as well is indicating that your light is shining this year. Okay. Summer and sun, light shining, abundance cards. How can I add any more? This is supposed to be unexpected insights. With these 2 cards coming up, and this makes sense, it's not surprising that you have 2 very positive cards coming up in the unexpected insights as well. General overall outcome for Sagittarius for 2023, voyage of the heart. Love flows through you and to you. What are the chances that your focus for 2023 is the heart guardian? And your intention this year, your focus this year is to open up your heart. And the general overall outcome for you in 2023 is the voyage of the heart card from a completely different deck. Come on, you can't make this stuff up. Sagittarius, out of all of the signs that I've read for thus far, and I believe you are number 9 out of 12, I have not had such a positive reading. I'm smiling and glowing right now. I'm so happy for you, because if you go back and watch any of the other videos for the other zodiac signs, nobody has had such a positive reading for 2023. This is just fantastic. All right, so let's put these cards back into their respective decks. I am going to cleanse and clear each deck. More card to go back in this one. Okay, and let's get started on your love and relationships. I'm really curious what's going to come up here, considering your general reading had 2 heart cards come up indicating, love, and then you had the B card come up. Let's see where the cards are going to take you now for your love and relationships. Oh, Sagittarius, love and relationships 2023. Where is Sagittarius now? Sagittarius now, love and relationships. Okay, and again, we've got 2 cards coming out together. Focus. Where is Sagittarius's focus in 2023, love and relationships? Okay, I don't know if you can see that card definitely didn't want to go in. All right, do we need a clarifying card for the focus? I'm getting a yes. If we need it, we'll turn it over. If not, we won't. Clarifying card for the focus card. Let's see what we come up with. And again, like I said, these cards are all face down on my desk here. Let's look at your difficult influences in 2023, Sagittarius. Difficult influences, we're going over here. Nope, and we've got a card that's flipped right over. What makes sense? What makes sense for Sagittarius in 2023? Okay. I've got one card that slid out off the top of the deck. I'm going to put that one out. I've got two more cards that. Okay, I'm going to set all three cards down. We'll see. Let's look at your unexpected insights. Unexpected insights. Okay. General overall outcome for Sagittarius, love and relationships. General overall. Which one is it? Getting pulled over here. Okay. There's two cards stuck together. There we go. We're going to leave that one out. I don't know if that one's going to come out or not. Let's look at where you're at now. Love and relationship, Sagittarius. Interesting. You've got forest and diversity, as well as wind and movement. Okay. What these two cards is telling me with regards to love and relationship, Sagittarius, is that variety is the spice of life. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about poly relationships here. I'm not talking about open relationships. I'm talking about keeping diversity in your relationships, whether you are single or whether you are in a solid, committed relationship. Keeping diversity in your relationships is a really good thing. That means when it's date night, not going out and doing the same dinner and a movie every single time, throwing some spice of life in there and doing some different things. Same with wind and movement. That also indicates that there is like a fluidity in your relationships, in your dating life. If you're single, there is the opportunity to be flexible in your relationships, be flexible in your dating. You're open to new things, and you're allowing things to flow with the wind, which is actually a really good place to be. The only thing that I will say about both of these cards are indicating that there is I'm trying to come up with the right wording. There's kind of a fear or a fear of commitment. I get the sense for the Sagittarius, both those who are in relationships as well as those who are dating, that there's this fear of really, really committing and settling down. Okay. Both of these cards indicate that there is still a little bit of that waffling, a little bit of that wiggling, a little bit of that, kind of in the back of your mind doing the what if. Okay. That's where you are at now. Let's have a look at your focus. Gates of Triumph, success expands in your life. Okay, I was called for a clarification card for this, and the clarification card that I got was the rebirth card. Okay, let's start with the with those who are in committed relationships right now. The Gates of Triumph card is letting me know that your relationship is in a good, solid place, regardless of this little bit of waffling that might be going on. Because you've got the diversity, because you are keeping things interesting, going with the flow as far as wind and movement goes, both I'm sensing for you, Sagittarius, that there is this ability to just kind of go with the flow, water off a duck's back to a certain degree with certain aspects. I'm not saying that you're a doormat by any means, but there is kind of this is indicating that there is a bit of an easygoing nature with you, and that allows you to be successful in relationships. The rebirth card is indicating this diversity again, that Sagittarius, you are going through some changes this year into 2023. You know, you are opening your heart to be bigger, and letting more in based on your general reading, which means that there are going to be some changes that you're going to be making to yourself. You are rebirthing certain aspects of yourself, but this card right next to it is telling me that you're going to be successful in that. You know, some people, they decide to make big changes in who they are. They take off a mask and they present a different person to the world. And sometimes that can flop, and sometimes that doesn't go over well with family and friends. This is telling me that you will be successful in that. If we're looking at the single Sagittarius that are out there, what this is telling me is that whether you choose to be in a committed relationship, do some more dating and find that perfect partner, or whether you choose to remain single, you too are making some changes to yourself, making some changes about how you're going to go about things in the dating world. You're even looking at dating people that you wouldn't normally date because, you know, why not? And, you know, you do have some fluidity in the dating that you're doing. And so you're also rebirthing yourself. This again indicates, the gates of triumph is indicating again that, you know, you are going to be successful in that which you choose to manifest. The only caveat that I will give you is, you know, that old adage, be careful what you wish for. Okay. I don't know why this is coming up for me for the single Sagittarians. I'm just being asked to say, be careful what you wish for. I do believe that a lot of you are manifesting your perfect partner right now. And you are going, I mean, this card is indicating you are going to be successful at that. But take a good hard look at who you want to manifest. Let's look at your difficult influences. Set your sights high. Okay. This card coming up in the difficult influences, Sagittarius, is telling me that we're going to start with the singles this time. What was I just saying? Be careful what you wish for. Pay close attention to the partner that you're trying to manifest. I don't know why that came up, but Spirit told me to say it, so I blurted it out. And then you get this card in your difficult influences. What this is telling me, Sagittarius, is that you are not setting your sights high enough with regards to the manifestation of your perfect partner. Okay. You are thinking that you are not worthy enough. That's what this card is telling me. So, to my single Sagittarius friends out there, set your sights on the stars. If that's what you want to manifest, then put that out there. Don't put it out there, well, that's what I really want to manifest, but I don't know if I can, so I'm going to settle for something less. That's what this card is telling me you have the potential to do in 2023. That's why this came up in difficult influences. And I'm telling you, based on the general reading that I just did for you, with the heart center being opened, with the summer and the sun card having come out, oh my God, Sagittarius, have faith in yourself. Set your sights higher, please. Okay. For those of you who are in relationships, what does this card mean in your difficult influences? This card is telling me that you, right now, in the here and now, you have this diversity, you have this flow in your relationship. This card is telling me that if you are not careful in 2023, your relationship is going to become routine. It's going to become that lackadaisical, blah, gray. Okay, we have a routine. We're in a relationship. Things are okay. This card is saying, keep things interesting. Aim for the stars. Instead of going out on your dinner date, go out on a zip lining date. Go do something fun, exciting that you've never done before. Okay. Again, here's my disclaimer. If you're not comfortable zip lining, if you don't trust it, blah, 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 then don't go do that. I'm just throwing ideas out there. Go do something different. Keep your relationship interesting this year, Sagittarius. What makes sense? Faraway places, get ready for new horizons. Okay. For the singles, this is a really, really easy card to read. This is telling me, set your sights higher. Look to the horizon. That's what you're supposed to be doing. This card also indicates travel. This card, for those of you who are in a relationship, also indicates keep it interesting. Don't allow it to get stale and boring. Okay. Get ready for new horizons card, like I said, does indicate travel. For those of you who are single, not all of you, but for some of you, this card indicates that you may be deciding to go on a trip and you may find your love interest while you are traveling. I have had that happen in the past where this card has come up for people in a love relation or a love reading, and they've gone on a trip and come back with a new boyfriend or girlfriend. So just be on the lookout for that is a possible opportunity for you, Sagittarius, in 2023, for those of you who are single. Like I said, for those of you who are in committed relationships, this card is asking you to keep things interesting. Maybe plan a trip with your partner. Who knows? Okay. Now, there were two other cards that came out in the This Makes Sense. So let's have a look at the other two cards that came out. Like I said, this was the first card to come out. The other two cards to come out. The first one is called Answering the Call, the Time is Now. So again, for the single Sagittarius in the group, remember your general reading? Open your heart, not once, but twice, that your heart is, answering the call. This is an indication, Sagittarius, for the singles out there who are seeking. This is an indication that 2023 is most likely the year that you are going to find that love interest that you have been looking for and trying to manifest. This card, enjoy the journey. Okay. What this card is telling me for all of you singles, it's a journey, not a destination. So just because you find your partner doesn't mean that you can stop trying in your relationship. Okay. You need to continue to try. If you go into a relationship with a whole whack of enthusiasm, and then as soon as you have a partner who makes some kind of commitment to you, you sit back on your bed eating bonbons, not cool. Sorry to be so blatant and blunt, but it's true. This card is telling me to continue the journey, keep it exciting. Remember what I said to the people who are in relationships that are the same sign as you singles? If you're in a committed relationship, keep it interesting this year. Again, over here, I said the same thing. Keep it interesting this year. And again, keep it interesting. Okay, enjoy the journey. It's not a destination. Just because you're in a committed relationship doesn't mean that you can stop trying. That's what all of this is telling me. Okay. All right. Let's move on into your unexpected insights. Unexpected insights. Again, we have water coming up. Water is similar to this card. This card is more about an easygoing flow. This obviously represents the element of air. This represents the element of water. And this is a little bit more of a harsher up and down. It does indicate, Sagittarius, for both those who are in relationships as well as those who are on the dating scene, that there are going to be some ups and downs for you this year. Now, that doesn't mean the end of the world. It's just giving you the heads up. Forewarned is forearmed. Be prepared. And just because you have a little minor argument with your partner doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Okay, that's what this card is telling me. Just go with the flow. There's going to be some ups and downs, and that's okay. Outcome for the Sagittarius in love and relationships. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We have the Beyond Illusion card as well as the Maturity card. Let's start with the Maturity card. This card is telling me, Sagittarius, that there has been so much growth on your part, both for the singles as well as those in committed relationships, that there is a maturity that is happening in your relationships. It's not that puppy love, chase the partner, ooh, honeymoon phase, crash and burn. You are out of that. You're out of that, and you recognize that relationships are going to have waves. There's going to be an up and down that happens in relationships, and that's okay, and you accept that. And you recognize that your relationship requires some work. It's a journey, not a destination, and you're up for keeping it interesting. All of that is maturity in relationships. Okay. For those of you who are single, this card represents that there's a maturity in your dating. Okay. This card is beautiful. This card ties right back into the very first card that I pulled for you in the general reading, that you have the capacity to see beyond the illusion. You have the capacity to suss out the truth. Okay. So, I mean, that's not to say that you're sussing out, oh my God, my partner's doing the dirty. That's not what this is saying. This is a positive card. This is a card about open communication, the ability to be able to express how you feel to your partner without your partner going, oh God. Okay. This is about open communication and expressing your needs if you're out there dating. And if your partner is not going to be able to fulfill your needs long term, then they're not the right partner. And you have the maturity to be able to walk away from a date that's just not going to work for you. Okay. Or you have the maturity to ask the hard questions while you're out there dating. You have the maturity to ask the hard questions and accept the response, and either move on or continue with the dating. Same with those of you who are in committed relationships. You have the maturity in your relationship to have the open communication that allows everybody to see beyond the illusions. Beautiful, beautiful reading for you, Sagittarius. Okay. We're going to stick all of these cards back in. I'm hoping that my voice will last through to the end of this reading. This is my Christmas cold that is still holding on. I felt great yesterday and woke up this morning with it coming back around to take another swing at me. Okay, this one goes over here. Two more cards to tuck in here. Let's move into money, job, work, career. Let's just cleanse and clear each of these decks. Get them ready. Okay, Sagittarius, where are you now with regards to money, job, work, career? Definitely getting called over here. Okay, we've got two cards. We just didn't want to get mixed in at all. Let's look at your focus for 2023. Where are you at? Focus 2023. Okay. We've got one card that's fallen out. We've got another card here that's complete. Oh, two cards that are tinted up. Okay. Well, it looks like your focus has three cards in it. This is going to be interesting for you, Sagittarius. Let's look at your difficult influences. Difficult influences. We're going over to this deck again. Interesting. Oh, what's happening? We got a card that doesn't want to go in. Does that card need a clarification card? Do we need to clarify that card? No. What makes sense for you in 2023? Money, job, work, career. Holy cow. I've got cards everywhere. All right, we are not reading this many cards. Thank you very much, deck. There's like 6 or 7 cards that have come out here, so let's see if we can narrow this down. That card. Do we need another card? Yes. One of these other cards is intended. That one's a maybe. That one's a no. Those two can go back over there. One. Okay. What I'm actually doing when I'm holding the cards up like that is I do get a slight pull or a hint to go towards one card when I have them open in my hands. Unexpected insights. Lost track of where I was at. Unexpected insights in 2023 for the Sagittarius. Money, job, work, career. Can we please have just one card this time? And this deck is saying, nope, you can't have just one card because I'm just going to keep mixing. Come on. Oh, there we go. There's the card. General overall outcome. Money. Definitely coming back over here. General overall outcome. Money, job, work, career. Sagittarius. Oh, jeez. Okay. That's going to be one of the cards. Do we require another card? Yep. I'm getting called to both of those cards. All right, we'll see how this works out. Let's see what happens. Sagittarius, where are you now when it comes to money, job? Okay, so you definitely have a thread or a very large energy of truth and honesty coming up through you. You have the Knight card coming up. Be brave and honest. What this card is telling me is that where you're at now, you've already had a truth card come up, your ability to be able to see the truth in your general reading for 2023, and now you've got one coming up telling you to be honest. It's like straight up saying be honest. This card is telling me that if there is anything untoward going on in your work world with you in particular, this card is telling me that karmically that could be very bad for you this year. Okay, so this is telling me moving forward, you need to make sure that whatever's coming up is you're being honest about it. Okay, it's also telling me that you need to be brave, which is an indication that, you know, if things aren't quite right at work, it's asking you to speak up. Right? Knights speak up, they speak their truth. So if things don't seem quite right at work or something like that, you're kind of in a place where you need to say, this isn't right. This is the second card that came up for your you now. This is follow the voice of your soul, the star ancestor. This is telling me that wherever you're at with regards to job, work, career, you need to be doing something that really makes your heart and your soul sing. So I'm going to bring this up. One of the things, I'm going to get a little bit personal here. One of the things that I always wanted to do ever since I was a little girl was drive a transport truck. I just watch them roll down the road. They look so majestic to me. I am just fascinated by transport trucks. So I ultimately went out and got my license. Now, I am a psychic at heart. I'm an intuitive. I'm an empath. I feel of things that other people are feeling, including I can sense how Mother Earth is feeling. And part of the job I ended up doing as a truck driver at one point in time was working as a truck driver in the oil patch in northern Alberta, which meant that I was on fracking crews. That destroyed me. It was not in alignment with my soul, with my empathic soul. Okay. The reason I shared that with you, Sagittarius, is because this card is telling me that it's really, really important for you right now and going forward to be doing something that is in alignment with the voice of your soul, in alignment with what you came here to do as a soul and as a human. If you're not quite sure what that is, there are a lot of ways to find that out. There's free online little tests and quizzes that you can do, but trust me, you probably already know, and it's really important for you to follow that. Okay. Let's move into your okay, this is really funny. You've got wow. Okay. This is funny. You've got a knight here telling you to be brave and honest. And your focus in 2023 is another knight. Only this one is telling you to fight. But what did I tell you about this card? I said you need to be speaking your truth. If things don't seem to be quite right, you need to be saying so. This card is saying that you, in 2023, you need to up that. If things are not right, you have to fight for what's right. That leads into this card as well. That you have to fight to be doing what is right for your soul and your soul's path. Sagittarius, you've got really, really powerful cards. The other two cards that came up with this card is the trust card over here. Okay, you'll notice the character on the card is just somebody who has taken a complete leap of faith, and they are floating through the air in complete trust that they will land safely. Okay, this card next to this card is you have to trust in what's right, and you have to fight for the truth. And you have to trust that the truth will come out on the right end of things. Okay. The final card that came up as your focus for 2023 is the letting go card. And what this card is telling me is that once you've spoken your truth, once you've fought a little bit and said, this is my truth, once you've trusted that the truth is going to come out, you have to let go. You have to let go of your attachment to the outcome. Okay? If you've spoken your truth, if you are living your truth, then you have to then trust and let go and believe that the universal laws will kick in, the universal law of karma, the universal law of balance, all of these things will kick in. Okay, so your focus for 2023, put up a little bit of a fight, speak your truth, and then trust and let go. Okay. This is with regards to your work, job, career, and money, which is telling me that there is going to, what this is telling me so far is that there is going to be some upheaval for you, Sagittarius, in 2023, specifically related to work and career. This is telling me that it's not going to be a walk in the park for you. There is some work that's going to have to be done in order for you to be successful in 2023. Vision is in your difficult influences. Now, the eagle flying on this card, we know that out of all of the creatures that we have discovered so far on this planet, that the eagle has the best vision out of any creature. You know, it can fly, I don't know, a mile up into the sky, see a rodent and dive down and get it. It's absolutely phenomenal what it is capable of doing. But this is in your difficult influences, which to me is telling me that you may not always be seeing the truth. You may not always be seeing what's going on behind the scenes. It may feel like people are keeping a few things from you. So being in your difficult influences, Sagittarius, this card is saying, pay attention to what you're seeing going on around you this year. Things may not always be what they seem. Pay attention. Okay. This makes sense. Okay. If you're not always seeing things that are going on, you need to adjust your perception. That's the message on this card. I hope that that's coming into focus. Okay. Shift your perception, adjust your perception. Okay. If you're always looking at something straight on, you may not see what's going on over here in the peripheral. Shift your perception. This means that in 2023, with regards to work, just because a job has always been done a certain way, if someone else comes along and tells you to do it a different way and you're going, nope, nope, okay? This is saying, you know what, there might be another way to do it. Shift your perception, see whether it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, okay? So long as nobody gets hurt, so long as it's not dangerous in your job, there's nothing wrong with seeing things from a different perspective, okay? The second card that came up, and it's interesting that you got, let me just pull this card out here. This card represents air. Whenever a bird or an eagle comes in on oracle cards, it represents the element of air. The element of air is about going with the flow. You've got the air guardian here, but it's interesting, you also have the earth guardian. So you've got both here. And this one is stay rooted and grounded. This one's telling you to shift your perception. What this is telling me is that, again, the same way we had mentioned in your love life, there are going to be some ups and downs for you. I am feeling that work, job, career is not going to be smooth sailing for you in 2023. I'm not predicting doom and gloom by any means. These cards, this spread is not predicting doom and gloom, but it is predicting some speed bumps in your road. Okay. So the stay grounded, stay rooted and grounded, the earth guardian is asking you to not allow yourself to get into that, you know, be open to potentially doing your job in a slightly different way, but stay grounded that your job is still secure, even if someone new comes in and has some new way of doing it. Okay. Reflect and redirect your energy as in your unexpected insight, coming to an impasse. Unexpected insight is typically something that would come up a little bit later in the year once some of these other energies have played out. What I want to say to you is, if we've got to be brave and honest, you need to speak your truth, but you also need to follow your soul. Going into fighting for what you believe in and then trusting and letting go. Paying attention to what you might not be seeing. Moving into maybe having to do your job a little bit different way, but still staying grounded and then reaching an impasse. I do feel that at some point in time, like I said, this is not doom and gloom. This is not a guarantee. This is a reading from where you are at sitting here on December the 29th, 2022. This card is indicating that at some point in time in 2023, you will reach an impasse with regards to your job or career, and you will have a decision to make. The decision is yours to make. This is not saying that there's going to be a pink slip. This is not saying that you're definitely going to, this is not saying that at all. This is saying you have a decision that you're going to have to make. Okay? That's all. General overall outcome is conditioning. This card makes perfect sense coming up as the final card in your reading for work and job and career. Okay? What this card is indicating is that if you have a certain way of doing it and you're unwilling to be flexible and shift your perception and see that there may be a different way of doing things, you are stuck in your way. You're stuck in your own way. You're stuck in conditioning. What now, having turned all of these cards over, this whole reading for you, Sagittarius, with regards to job, work, career in 2023 is telling me you need to stand in your truth. You need to fight for what you believe is right. But in the end, you also have to be flexible. You have to see that there are different ways of doing the same job. This is a card of habits. This is a card of believing that just because you're born a lion, the only thing that is your food source is a lamb. And we know that's not true. Okay? There are different things that a lion can eat. But the lion has been conditioned to believe things one way and one way only. This card is telling me, Sagittarius, you can change this. But in order to change this, you need to shift your perceptions. You need to see things from the eagle's perspective, from up here. You need to see the bigger picture that's out there. You need to trust and let go. This card, I'm recognizing now, isn't just about letting go of the belief that, things will turn out in the end. This card is also about letting go to the attachment, letting go of the conditioning that you have and recognizing there's a different way of doing things. Okay. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, for joining me today. And into 2023, I want to wish you a happy new year. Please continue to watch this space, this channel. I do hope to get some more prediction videos out in the very near future. If you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. And I would love to have your feedback in the comments. Thank you.